because it coincides that we're at war.
Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth.
You see that? Warreth. No man that warreth. The young black man and Latin man, when he don't understand war, that we're at warfare for the redemption and salvation of our nation. He's so busy fighting his own brother, he's stuck on Negro, like some of these Israelites are. They've forgotten to fight. They turn and show hatred against one another. Read it again.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
So we ain't marching, we ain't voting. Okay, all that foolishness, we ain't getting caught up in it. We must be dedicated to studying these laws and applying these laws to our lives. This right now is a spiritual war, but we're still soldiers. Let me hear it!
Israel, who's the king? Christ! Who's the king? Christ! Out in the day, the army of Israel is prepared for war. Israel, who's the king? Christ!
I want all you brothers and you sisters to be mindful of Mark chapter 4. Hananiah.
Yes, sir.
Explain to us the 4 types of Israelites.
Yeah, Elder, you got Israelites that hear the word and rejoice and repent and come to the word. You got Israelites that hear the word and go back into the world. You got the other Israelites, they not rooted in the word. They hear the word, stick around for a little while, then they go. And
Okay.
oh yeah, the one that take the word from you.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm glad you did remember that. Bear me a second. Mark 4:17. Read that. This is the second type of Israelite. I just want to.
Mark 4 verse 17. And have no root in themselves.
This is the Israelite that has no root in him or herself.
And so endure but for a time.
This is that brother or that sister that endures for a time. You know what they endure for? Some brothers endure for a particular job that they've been waiting for. And when that job or work offer comes, you don't see him or her no more. Some brothers endure for a time. They've been waiting for that particular booty to come by. Then when that woman, or with sisters, that man comes by, you don't see him or her no more. Read that again.
And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended.
Watch this. Is the third kind. Yeah.
And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things.
The lust of other things. Because Christ summed it up like that. He left it very vague, because it's different for every man, every woman. Go ahead.
And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
So this is that brother or sister who has secret desires And that desire begins to choke the word of God. And that brother or sister becomes unfruitful, unprofitable to this truth. Now, we read briefly those things to say this regarding, I'm just dealing with you brothers for the moment. Some of you came in very zealous, but now after watching you and observing you, that spirit that you once had is not there. So you're going to fall into that third category. Can we read verse 19 again?
And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things.
Read that part again.
And the lust of other things.
Read that part again.
And the lust of other things.
Read it again.
And the lusts of other things.
Okay.
Entering in. Choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
You're that brother who becomes unfruitful. Okay? There's a lot of work that needs to be done in Israel, and I was speaking with certain brothers today. I could probably count on both hands the amount of brothers who I can depend on to get certain things done. I ain't talking about you new brothers. I don't know your spirits yet. But those of you who have been here for a year or more, if you ain't on these 10 little fingers of mine, that means you've become that 19th verse again. Read that again.
And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
Everybody wants to get paid. We want to get, hell, I want to get paid.
I want to get paid.
But guess what? This is not that time. This is not that time. Right now, the Most High is going to have to bless us with to fulfill our needs and whatever it is that we need from Him. But until then, we have to endure this work. We got to endure this work. And it's going to be very hard. I ain't going to say it's easy. It's not easy. A lot of things that need to be done. Okay, but there's only maybe 10 of you that I can depend on without a shadow of a doubt. The rest is like we got to take out a whip, crack your back. It's tiring dealing with somebody. All right, from there, Bezalel. Let's go to what do I want? Yeah. Let's do. I want to deal with the black couple. This is the couple. Now, who's smoking us out in here with that incense? Woo! You Levi. We know you Levi. This is the black couple. They went to a Southern Baptist church in Mississippi. They wanted to get married. And the white congregants told the white minister, if you marry that black couple, we will fire you. Because in organized church system, there's a board of directors. And they're the ones that hire the minister and or fire the minister.
Corporation.
Like a corporation, run like a corporation. So the minister, well, he didn't want to fight. He said he took the black couple to another church and married them there. Now remember, these Baptist churches, remember we went over a few weeks ago, how the Southern Baptist Convention appointed its first African-American leader. Remember that?
Yeah.
And this is way after that now. Now showing you that it's always been a hoax about this racial love and integration. Can we see this video now?
They had set the date, printed up, and mailed out all the invitations, but the day before wedding bells were to ring for Charles and Tiandria, they say they got some bad news from the pastor.
Congregation had decided that no black couple could be married at their church, and that if he went on to have to marry us, then they would vote him out and he would be put out the church.
The Wilsons were trying to get married at the predominantly white First Baptist Church of Crystal Springs, a church they attend regularly but are not members of.
We couldn't have the wedding at the church. He had people in the sanctuary that was pitching a fit about us being a black couple. I mean, I didn't like it at all because I wasn't brought up to be racist. I was brought up in the church all my life to love and care for everybody.
Church pastor Dr. Stan Weatherford says he was taken by surprise by what he calls a small minority against the black marriage at the church.
This had never been done here before, so it was setting a new precedence. and there were those who reacted to that because of that.
Weatherford went on and performed the wedding at a nearby church.
But I didn't want to have a controversy within the church, and I certainly didn't want a controversy to affect the wedding of Charles and Tiandria. I wanted to make sure that their wedding day was a special day.
After months of planning, the newlyweds say they had no choice but to go through with the wedding at the new location, but they still can't understand why a church would ban their wedding because of race.
I blame First Baptist Church of Crystal Springs. I blame those members who knew and called themselves being Christians and didn't stand up.
Church officials say they welcome any race into their congregation. They now plan to hold internal meetings on how to move forward should this situation reoccur.
I was prepared to just go ahead and do the wedding here, just like it was planned and just like we had agreed to. I was just looking for an opportunity, an option to be able to address a need within our congregation and at the same time minister to them.
In Crystal Springs, David Kenny, WLBT News.
Well, all righty then. Now that was about, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about.
Well, 2 weeks ago, in case some of you say, oh, that's a long time ago. Nick, and you heard what the black woman said. She wasn't brought up to be racist. I could talk to, Negroes are dumb as hell. This is 2012. When are our people going to learn? Our people will not learn until a bus falls on them. This happens over and over, and they sent the demon out, the minister, to do damage control. Damage control, say, oh, we accept all races. Right. You know what? Put your tithes in the church, and then get your black behind out. And Negroes ain't woke up to that yet. All this lovey, that's all garbage. Hogwash. Let's get some more. Show me the swimming pool. I think it was last year. The swimming pool, right there.
While he's getting at it, let's say something real quick. And if you have black people that's inside these churches, inside these white churches, they're the ones that pay the biggest amount of tithes.
Yeah.
The biggest. They will give their whole checkup just to be accepted in there. I just want to make one more comment while you're getting it. And the woman said she was never brought up to be racist. Did any of y'all notice that when they panned the camera past the glass stained windows, what did you see? Caesar Borgia is Christ, a white man. So where's the racism in ignoring what the scriptures say about what Christ looked like to put that white image up there? Yep. Our people are stupid as hell.
Yep. There was another news report, she almost daggone broke down. So talking about she's confused. Her and him, I don't understand. That's stupid. And here's another one. This was last year, where the camp, you know, Negroes send their kids to camp so they learn new experiences and all that. Anyway, this camp was made up, it says turn away black children, but it had black and Latino children in there. And they paid thousands of dollars for every Monday for their kids to go to the swimming pool. Let's watch this.
Charges of racism are swirling around a suburban Philadelphia swim club.
And I heard this lady, she was like, what are all these black kids doing here? She's like, I'm scared they might do something to my child.
The executive director of Creative Steps Day Camp in Philadelphia says the Valley Swim Club turned her campers away because they're black.
If the children didn't misbehave, we paid our membership in full. Here's the check to prove it. What else could it be? We were the only minorities there.
The children were at the swim club June 29th. Executive Director Alethea Wright says 3 campers told her they heard members of the club asking what blacks were doing there.
She said that she don't want any black kids there and there's too many of them.
Wright said she had an agreement with the swim club to allow the campers weekly access to the pool through August 10th. But the club refunded the campers' fees for the entire summer without explanation just a few days after their first visit.
I get a phone call from the board chair saying, you're no longer going to be able to swim here.
Philadelphia TV station WTXF says the club president claims several club members complained because the children fundamentally changed the atmosphere at the pool. But he said the complaints did not involve race.
The other members were taking their children out while our children were there swimming.
The club president did not return an Associated Press request for comment. Wright says the campers' parents are considering legal action. Diane Kepley, The Associated Press.
Well, alrighty then. Here's another one. Now, they said the atmosphere in the actual article, it said change the complexion of the pool. That's what it was. So, and this is just last year. For those of you who are in La La Land and think everything's grand And that's Philadelphia. Isn't that the city of brotherly love?
No, wait a minute. Now, they said what? They said that on here, they said it changed the what?
On the atmosphere.
They said the atmosphere. And the real deal was that they did what? Change the complexion
of.
So when they put the word atmosphere up there, our people went to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
But atmosphere ain't saying nothing different than the complexion.
Right. Exactly.
What the hell does black people, what the hell what atmosphere they gonna change? I'll tell you, man, this kind of sickness goes on because we love Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
We love him to death. If he moves his bowels on us, we're still happy. We just wipe it off and keep on going. That's how we feel. That's the mentality that we seem to have. She's probably upset that they refunded her the money.
And one of the kids was literally in tears. I couldn't find that clip, but I seen it last.
And that's going to be lifelong trauma for those children.
Mm-hmm. And it's only trauma because the parents brought them up in Christian lives.
That's my point.
That's why it's going to be traumatizing. That ain't going to bother my kids. They're going to be whatever. They expect that. But if you train your children up to be in La La Land, they're going to be traumatized. This was in 07. This is a few years ago. Many of y'all heard of James Boyd. James Byrd, I'm sorry. Ignore the singing, please, the Negro stuff.
He's accused of a crime that shocked the world and divided a town. Now John King wears a bulletproof vest as he goes to court in the first trial involving a hate crime killing.
9-year-old James Byrd Jr., a black man, was beaten, then chained by his ankles and dragged behind a pickup truck for 3 miles down this country road until his body was torn apart. Prosecutors say Byrd was murdered because of the color of his skin. A few days later, King, along with Russell Brewer and Sean Allen Berry, all white men, were charged with Byrd's gruesome murder.
A 49-year-old father is murdered in a shocking crime. Police say he was tied to a truck and dragged until he died in a hate crime killing.
It could have been any black man that was walking that street at that night. He was not picked because of their knowing him. He was picked because he was a black man in this place.
Byrd's body was found on this remote road Sunday morning, just outside of Jasper. Today, FBI and sheriff's deputies continue to comb it, looking for clues. Some of the residents in this neighborhood tell us...
I understand that there were so many circles that they have outlined on this road showing they found different body parts. That in itself is a nightmare.
Prosecutors pulled out a 24.5-foot long chain they say was used to drag James Byrd Jr. to his death. Overall, it was a very eerie moment as that chain clanged and echoed through the courtroom. It is the chain authorities say was used to tie up and murder James Byrd Jr. It is a gut-wrenching display for family members seated in court.
It was really tough, yes. I did everything I can just to sit there, really.
John William King appeared emotionless in court as the chain was displayed. Tommy Falk, a man who has known King for 15 years, testified that unknown to him, the chain was buried in the woods behind his home. A second suspect, still awaiting trial, Sean Berry, led authorities to the chain the day after Byrd was murdered.
Now, John King's past includes trouble with the law. He was arrested in 1992 for burglarizing a video rental store. He received 10 years probation and was sent to a prison boot camp. King violated his parole and was put in prison in 1995. He was then paroled to Jasper in June of 1997. His body is covered with tattoos. Some of them are racist.
Testimony in the dragging death trial today. Testimony the prosecution says it needs in order to call for the death penalty. Item: a pathologist says James Byrd Jr. was alive as he was chained behind a pickup truck and then dragged to his death last year.
Now, picking a jury should take 2 to 3 weeks, since each juror can be questioned one at a time by attorneys. The trials for the 2 other men accused of Byrd's murder have not yet been scheduled. Stay with News 2 Houston for continuing coverage of the hate crime killing trial in the coming weeks.
On trial for the murder of a man just because he was black. Graphic evidence is already on display in the first day of the dragging death trial. That trial puts the small town in the spotlight once again. The case got underway this morning in Jasper. That's where News 2 Houston's Mary Benton is live now with the story. Mary?
Well, the first day of the trial, Linda, has ended for the day, and a packed courtroom along with the jury, which includes one African American, heard some very graphic testimony.
I also came to find out later that they had spray painted my brother's face with black paint. That was the supreme insult. To me, that sends the message that in case you didn't know that we did it because he's a black man, we're giving you another message. We're spray painting his face black to let you know that we're doing it because he was a black man.
Tensions are already high after the first full day of testimony. The jury heard disturbing details about the dragging death of James Byrd, and they saw grisly pictures of his dismembered body. There are new concerns amidst reports that members of the new Black Panther Party plan to gather in Jasper Wednesday.
Well, Mike and Anna, today was very detailed and very gruesome. The DA here describing how the blood from the victim was found on the suspect's shoes. Also today, some very graphic photos were shown to the jury, photos that reportedly show the massive trauma that the victim's body suffered. Overall, a very powerful first day of testimony. The hour, the moment finally arrives. This family's sadness and heartache is visible on their faces. In court, for the first time, they hear detailed accounts of how their loved one was brutally murdered.
It was an emotional turmoil. You know you needed to be there, but it's very hard to hear those details and to see the clothing that he was wearing. Some of the things we didn't know, and that was especially hard to deal with.
It's like reliving that experience all over again, just like it just happened.
James Byrd Jr. was a sweet soul who loved to play the piano and sing, according to family members. Today, they released this home video showing him the way they remember him.
Mr. King, do you have any comments?
John William King is one of 3 men accused in the dragging death of James Byrd Jr. The father of the accused was also present in court today. Also today, prosecutors offered more insight into the personality of the accused by presenting these letters allegedly written by King. The racist N-word appears a number of times. Written to a then 15-year-old, the letters are signed by King. One saying blacks and whites who date should be hanged.
He's writing her racist letters. He has a lot of racist language thrown in, and he seems to always attach violence to his races, hanging both of them if they're out together.
4 generations of the Byrd family were born and raised in Jasper, Texas. James was the last to sit in a racially segregated classroom. He had some problems in his own life, including a criminal record. But his children attended mixed schools, and 2 of them served in the U.S. military. They last saw their father alive as he set off to walk home after a family party. The exact details of the murder will emerge in the trial, but according to affidavits filed in court by the police, the journey to his death began near Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It is alleged that James Byrd was picked up by 3 white men. These suspects drove him to a wooded area on the outskirts of town, where they brutally beat him. Then they chained his ankles to the back of their truck and began to drag him down the road. Despite the fact that the head and the right arm were torn from the body, the dragging continued. Daylight revealed a trail stretching for approximately 2 miles on a road scattered with blood and flesh.
Burns testified that the victim's body was so badly battered that bone and muscle were visible. Parts of his body were literally shredded.
Because I just couldn't imagine that road being that long. You know, I thought maybe they rewinded and restarted it. And it was just like, and I would just imagine being dragged down the road for that length of time.
So it seemed like it just went on and on?
It seemed like it never was going to end. And you can imagine the pain as they expressed the other day that all this time he was going through pain. We knew that he was conscious, alive, but we didn't know all the details, like description of his torso and his head and neck. We didn't know all the graphic details, and that was very hard to hear.
I wasn't allowed to say goodbye to my father because of the nature of his death. He was totally dismembered. There was nothing there except for flesh and bones, and his head was severed from his body, and the coroner thought it was unbearable for the family. You know, you don't want to have to remember your parent like that.
Okay, so that was in 07. There was another one that occurred last year. Ace, have you remember that one where the guy hit the black guy with a truck and then backed up and ran over him?
In Alabama.
So I'll bring all this up because the Negro man and woman that's in Christianity, you are easy targets because you're the ones that fall for that. You sisters listen good. Or you just want to love everybody. Okay, you keep on loving everybody. You're going to get a rude awakening. Can we get Psalms 144? Psalms 144. And I don't know if any of y'all ever been to be dragged to death by a chain, especially on concrete, on ground. Yeah. That tears the flesh off your body at a high speed.
There was a film not long after this incident happened, and I cannot remember the name of it, but they did a reenactment.
Yeah. Documentary on it.
They did it right. They did a it was like a movie or something.
Yeah.
And they did the reenactment of what it's like to be dragged. And I mean, this was not animation, but the way they did it, you know that it was cameras and other things involved. Just looking at it from a reenactment point of view was horrifying.
Yep.
You! Give me the chain! Pull his pants off.
District Attorney's Office and the Sheriff's Office wanted me to review the findings to determine if Mr. Byrd was alive while he was being dragged on the logging road. As he was being dragged along the surface of the roadway, the elbows were ground down.
He must have been able to hold his head off that pavement to avoid the injury to his head.
Just imagine being at the end of that chain being dragged. Literally being dragged to your death. You are, first of all, you're a whole person. Then the next thing you know, as you're being dragged, percentages of your life is leaving you. Your head gets torn off. At what point did your head come off? After your legs were severed? After your arms? I mean, he was straight. He was turning over. That's what the reenactment was showing, that his body was flipping over, so he was skinned up all over before the life left his body. That's a horrifying death. And that was what I picked up from a reenactment. Can you imagine living through that thing?
Y'all don't give me that in Romans. Give me that in Romans 8 about all creation. I'm sorry, it's popped into my head. Brothers, y'all got the greatest knowledge on earth, and we must use this knowledge for the benefit of our people. Our people are mentally, psychologically sick, and they need to be awakened. Romans 8.
Romans 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
Now that first spirit, that's capital, that's the Bible, the Word of God. Read it again.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
Our spirit is your mind. Go ahead.
That we are the children of God.
So the Bible bears witness that we are the children of God. Meaning what? Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 15 to 68. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 40 down. Okay. Luke 21, Joel 3. There's many chapters that prove Jeremiah 14:2, Job 30:30, Jeremiah 8:21, Song of Solomon 1 and 5.
The revelation of Christ.
The revelation of Christ that proves that we are the sons of God, that we are the children of God. They don't want us on mainstream TV. That's why in the past, anytime they brought Israel on, they said, they'll bring us on, they said, you are not allowed to read the Bible. Keep it in your bag, don't bring out no books, just talk off the top. That's how they always hem the Israelites up. Then the audience would be, because they would make mockery because we were not allowed to use the Word of God. Because they know the Bible, the book, the same book they use to try to manipulate the minds of our people is the same book that's going to destroy their whole system. And only the Israelites know the secrets of this book. So they say, don't let them on with the Bible. They let Farrakhan on with the Bible. He don't know nothing. They'll let all these other groups, they'll let T.D. Jakes on there with a Bible, but not the Israelites, not those guys. So brothers, you don't realize how important you are. So it just irks me when those of you come in this truth and you begin to fade away. Okay, waiting for the next big payday, waiting for the next big butt. You're just wasting everybody's time. Just leave. There's too much after looking at this and you still in that sad sack, dumb Negro mindset with fringes, you're just wasting everybody's time. Okay? Read verse 19.
Verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
Y'all see that? Everything's waiting for the manifestation, the revealing of the sons of God. And the only way the sons of God is going to be made manifest, revealed, you brothers and sisters must go work to get this truth taught. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they're going to call you a racist. But believe me, everything that comes out your mouth is coming out the Bible. Give me that in Psalms 44. And y'all better show it. These news clippings, y'all need to show your children that. You have your children in a sheltered life. Those are the ones that need psychotherapy, shock treatment. Because that's like when I was young, they taught that, what they tell us, Santa Claus brings Negro children gifts in the ghetto, in the hood, down the damn chimney. Then one night you get up late and you see your mother and father. So wait a minute, you done told me all these years of Santa Claus. You been lying to me. Or the damn tooth fairy. Then you see your mother lift up your pillow, put something there. Liars. Our parents done lied from beginning to end. The lies got to stop with Israel. You have a big job to do. Our job, we got to pull down every lie out there.
But another example of what you just said about what you said about the children, they'd be psychologically damaged or something.
Yeah.
What was the word you just used?
I don't know. You know,
an example was what we just got through looking at.
Right.
Those children, if they would have been schooled from the beginning, the thing would not have hurt them so much.
Right.
Right now, they're all distraught. They can't believe what happened to them. Now they question it. Why do I look like this? All that foolishness coming out. Why? Because you with your simple but taught them that they were in the land of love.
Right. Exactly. That's the problem. Here we go. Psalms 44. What verse I say go? 13 to 15.
Psalms 44 verse 13. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbor.
Hear what God said in the Bible regarding the Israelites? David said in this prayer, because he what? In the spirit, he saw the atrocities Israel would go through.
Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors.
Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors. Come on.
A scorn and a derision to them that are round about us.
A scorn and a derision unto them that are round about us. What we saw on the news, those 3 clips, we are a scorn and a derision to those nations round about us. The Bible's the only true book, brothers and sisters. This is the only true book. You could be like them 3 monkeys. You know the monkeys I'm talking about. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. If you want, you're going to die.
Head in the sand.
Got your head in the sand like an ostrich. I don't see nothing. Read that again.
Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us.
We are a scorn and a derision to them that are round about. They hate us. I don't care what kind of church they in. You saw this example with church. They said you cannot marry that black couple in here. That's why there's only key parts of certain cities where all that interracial stuff flies. Like New York is one hub. You get these little interracial couples. You leave from New York City, there's many parts of this country that will kill you. You get black women in La La Land, oh, I got my white man with me. Then they go like Scarsdale. I don't know how many of y'all go to Scarsdale. They'll whoop your behind there.
Very little blacks up there.
Very few blacks, very few. But you in your La La Land. Okay?
Hey, Elder.
Yeah.
Even where we are right now, I grew up in the Bronx all my life. Y'all could have walked through this neighborhood, I'd say about, what, 20 years ago? It was predominantly Edomites here, Pelham Bay. You was getting jumped, you was getting beat up. Things changed. Parkchester. For those of you who live in Parkchester, that was predominantly Edomites. Soundview. Y'all just within these past, say, 15 to 20 years got allowed passage in here. So what the elder's saying is true. There's still certain places where I don't care who you are, what you got, you can't go in there.
But our people want to be asleep. Read that again.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen.
Y'all know what a byword is? Being called outside your name. A nigger, a stick, African American. Those are bywords. Being called outside your God-given name. God calls us Israel. The nation says, no, y'all not the Israelites. Y'all are Negroes and coons. Well, you're so mean. Why are you just so feisty today? When I watch stuff like that on news, the Bible says watch as well as pray. Some of y'all just pray, you don't watch though.
And don't see everything.
And they choose not to see everything.
I want to mention something.
Go ahead.
When we were looking at the clip with the church, right? But while it was going on, then I heard what was he, the head pastor, something, the white guy? He started speaking, and you heard the elder say damage control. Because that's exactly what it was. Because when he started trying to say, well, we're going to fix the problem, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, Negroes, I have to use that term, Negroes was happy. They figured just because Jesus spoke, we're talking about the white man, when Jesus spoke, everything just became fixed.
And they show white Jesus.
Right. But I'm talking about the man sitting up there with the red shirt on. When Jesus spoke, everybody was relieved. They didn't realize that the people in the congregation are still mad as hell. But just because he said we're going to fix it, they're going to, again, attempt to go in there, not realizing that the same people that wanted them ousted before are still sitting in there. You understand? Our people are willfully ignorant, willfully blind. They're like you were saying earlier, they choose not to see things. And that's a shame. And the only reason why that's like that because you don't know who you are, you have no idea about the greatness that you are in this Bible. That's the worst part about it. We're the greatest people that ever put our foot on this damn planet, and here we are, we're trying to get along with people that are less than nothing. That's some terrible sickness.
Those are your...
And that ain't racist either. That's what God said.
There you go. And those are those good Christian folks. Y'all don't realize that the Ku Klux Klan is Christian. Y'all realize that? I think some of y'all don't realize they're all Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors were Christians.
Right.
The founding fathers, quote unquote, what's their names?
Jefferson, Washington.
Dumb guys. Jefferson, Washington, Lincoln, Madison, who owned slaves. They were all Christians. So now, let's get back to this one here. 44 and 14.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people.
Aymar, what that mean? A shaking of the head among the people?
That means when people look at us, they just have that expression like, these niggas again, these niggas again.
Can you show us what is shaking of the head?
Like literally, like you know, like.
Yeah, they look at you like.
That's
like the swimming
I don't want to be around.
Yeah, when our kids went in the pool, all the white people in the pool. Look at these niggas, they got a neighborhood. Get your kids out the pool. They're gonna start pissing in the pool, they're gonna know how to act.
Negro dirt in the pool.
Elder, I got a recent example, I brought it up last night. That the Edomites were shaking their head at Negroes. Remember I told you about the young sister that won at the Olympics?
Right.
The 16-year-old. Okay? She set world records. She dominated the sport what she was doing. They never saw anything done like that by an African-American woman in such a short period of time. And the Edomites were shaking their head at these dumb, cool Negroes, because you know it's the only thing the Negroes were focused on? Why somebody didn't do her hair. That's all they were concerned with. There's a sister right here. Hold it up, Lava.
Wait, not that one. I'm trying to get the front.
Okay? And all the Edomites were looking at the responses from the blacks. Okay? And all they wanted to know was why her mother didn't do her hair before she went and won. Wow. That's the mind of a Negro. And white people were just shaking their head like, you dumb coons. You dumb good-for-nothing coons. That's all y'all focused on. And she just made world history. That's the mind of a Negro.
Let's read that again.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen.
Thou makest us, this is David in the spirit. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen. The nations call us names, all kind of names. What's that new name they got for us, Joshua? Mondays.
Mondays.
They call black people Mondays. Code because nobody likes a Monday. You know when they go to work, they go, oh, I hate Mondays. That's a new office term for Negroes. But a lot of y'all don't know that. You go to work, yeah, I hate Mondays too. You're stupid as hell. Go ahead.
Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me.
I'll see verse 15. Read that again. Listen good.
My confusion is continually before me.
That's why the children said, we don't understand. The church lady, the black woman said, I am confused. I was brought up to love everybody. Read that again.
My confusion is continually before me.
That's why we will always be down and out, because we refuse to speak the truth.
This was a church lady that said she couldn't understand why. One scripture, just one. Luke 1:71. This is what they never read to her.
Right.
Luke 1:71. Somebody get it for me, please. This is what the problem is. And this is in the Bible.
Yep.
Had Reverend Johnson read this to the people, they'd have been all right. Luke chapter 1, verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. You hear that? That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. If we would have realized that, we would have understood why the nations don't like you. You would have understood the reason why they don't want you in the swimming pool, why they don't want to marry you in their churches and all that. We would have understood that. Because our people are still under the, what you call it, Elder? The delusion of inclusion. Not realizing that the whole planet Earth hates your guts. You don't understand that. Our people don't even want to accept that. Well, it's such a bad thing to be hated, so I don't want to accept that. It's too bad, because the Most High made you the special people of the planet Earth. We don't even want to be special because we don't want the nations to hate us the way they hate us. But God made us special. Right, that's it.
Exactly. Go to Daniel 9.
Daniel 9 verse 7, excuse me. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces.
You see what belongs unto us? Confusion of faces. We confuse our face with other nations' faces. We don't know our identity. So when things happen to us in society, because we don't know the Bible, we are always confused. I don't understand. Like I was telling y'all, my wife might remember, we was watching a program, this was a couple of years ago, about a black man running for office in the South. And you know they say if you want to get office, you gotta take pictures with babies.
Oh, man.
So there was a parade going on, he's walking, and there was a white woman with her little baby. The baby must, I'd say about 3 going into 4. She was holding him, maybe a little younger. And what's the age when they just starting to talk? What age is that? 2 going into 3, something like that. Anyway, she's holding him, he's walking, And he takes the baby, and he's smiling. He's doing that Kodak smile. And the baby, the white baby in his arm, he kisses the baby, and the baby goes, And he says, oh, he's trying to talk. Come on, you can say it. You can say it. And the little baby goes, Come on. Come on, you can say it. And the little baby goes, So the brother looks and he hands the baby back to the woman.
There's something going wrong.
The brother had to check himself into a psych home for 6 months. He said he gave up office. He didn't want to do. He wasn't in his right mind after that. He said he couldn't believe what the baby did.
Now, y'all, man, that sounds funny. But think about that thing. Just because this little white baby called him nigger, that just messed his whole world up.
Destroyed him.
Destroyed him.
He's probably a janitor somewhere. He ain't the same.
Destroyed him. If that ain't a wake-up call, nothing was.
Can we read verse 7 again?
O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces.
So unto us belongs confusion of faces. We're always confused. Go ahead.
As at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel.
And unto all Israel. Go ahead.
That are near.
That are near.
And that are far off.
And that are far off.
Through all the countries whither thou hast driven them.
So wherever our people are, whatever island they ended up at during hard slavery, confusion of face belongs unto them. Go ahead.
Because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
Now let's stay right there. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
The 2 kingdoms, the 12 tribes have transgressed the laws of God.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
And our people don't obey the voice of God. Where's the voice of God, Gedaliah?
The Bible.
The Bible is the voice of God. Some of you are looking up in the sky. Somebody, am I going to hear his voice today?
Right.
His voice is the Bible.
Some people think it's that big.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
The curse is poured. What is the curse making reference to, Robert?
Deuteronomy 28.
That's right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 16. That's the curse that is poured upon us. Go ahead.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Go ahead.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us.
Because our forefathers did not believe nothing Moses said. Just like today, many of you, some of you sitting in here, don't believe nothing this Bible is saying. Go ahead.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
And God brought all the great evil he said would come to pass upon our people. Go ahead.
For under the whole heaven.
Now I want y'all to listen good to this. For under the whole heaven
have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
So what is God saying there, Robert?
No one else on this God-green earth has gone through what we have gone through.
Right. There's no nation that has gone through what the 12 tribes of Israel have gone through. You ever notice when you talk about slavery, there's some idiot in the audience that will say, well, everybody went through slavery. Mm-hmm. Are you for real? Are you kidding me? Everybody did not go through what we went through. Okay? Somebody said to me the Chinese went through slavery. No, dummy. The Chinese was indentured servants. Okay? They got food and board when they were brought over here. Paid. Okay? And the Japanese didn't go through what we went through. They got reparations. The hell is this?
An elder.
Yeah.
Biggest one they like to use is the Holocaust.
Right.
That does not fit anything that's going on in the scripture.
Right.
Being that, I just want to make this one point. Those were Edomites fighting with other Edomites. Mm-hmm. That's what they're showing you. Okay? There was two Groups of Edomites at war with each other, and they're showing you what happened to prisoners. Okay, they didn't go and snatch those Edomites up, take their land, take their culture, take their identity, put them on slave ships, and distribute them to all four corners of the earth. But some of you get quiet when they bring up the Holocaust. Okay, and the scriptures say, a nation shall come from far that thou knowest not, with another tongue. Okay, that don't fit the scriptures, so don't fall for the Holocaust crap. Let me say this, if I may. First of all, I don't like that term Holocaust because it suggests that they've cornered the market on tragedy. I call that a scuffle in the backyard. Okay, because the real Holocaust is what happened to us. I'm going to repeat that. The real Holocaust is what happened to us. I'm just going to, real quick, I'm just going to speak on one incident in slavery that puts us at the forefront of this thing. Past the whips, past the slave trade, past the ships and all of that. Think about being a man and a woman on a slave plantation. All right, you've gotten married because they called you to jump over the broom. That was your marriage. Yep. The white man comes in, kicks the door into your shed where you live at, what the outhouse. Yeah. Okay, the quarters. He kicked the door in and tell the woman, get up, you coming with me. Now she's in the bed with her husband. Come on, you coming with me. Tell the husband, I'm gonna borrow her for a while. And then also tells him, and she better be good. You as the man, you're supposed to be her protector. I'm just talking about the psychological damage that comes out of a real Holocaust. You're supposed to be her protector. Meanwhile, this maniac comes in and tells you she better be good. He takes her, do all kinds of things with her himself, use her to entertain his friends that come to visit his plantation, all of that. Then he sends her back to you, and she's thinking in her mind, you're the man. You're supposed to protect me. You understand? You have to deal with that psychological impotence of not being able to do anything for her, and at the same time, she has to still try to build you up as a man, knowing that you could not do anything to protect her. Imagine having to live with that kind of horror. I ain't even talking about being dragged to death, hanged, and your stomach cut open and baby snatched out of it while they're making everybody else watch. I ain't talking about none of that at all. Just that one incident out of thousands of incidents that happened to us. And for us to survive this terrible tragedy, for us to have any kind of semblance of sanity at all is indeed a miracle. All of us are supposed to be crazy.
We are. Most of us is crazy. Can we read that again?
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
Right. So you crying about 6 million. Now, many people debate that number is exaggerated. But let's give them 8 million. Let's say 8. I'll let 2 more. So let's give them 8 million so you can't say nothing. Yeah, let's give them 9 million.
8 is good enough.
8 is good enough.
Listen, 8 is more than what they say, so we're being generous. We gave them 8.
We give them 8.
I mean, how big you want the backyard to be?
What is 8 million compared to 100 million Negroes alone that died during the Middle Passage? 100 million blacks died during the Middle Passage.
Estimate.
That's an estimate. That's only a Middle Passage. 77 million North American Indians were slaughtered. 77 million. 200 million Latinos from Central and South America were slaughtered. That is the true Holocaust. Let's continue. They were raised up illiterate, forbidden to read. Okay? Their nationalities of our people was changed. That did not happen to nobody. We were given a new language to speak. That did not happen to no other race on the planet.
they that understand among the people shall instruct many.
You gotta see that we are living this life again. You brothers understand. Your job is to instruct many, not learn this truth, sit here and scratch and go to movies and play video games. Your job is to instruct many, because Israel's not small no more. This truth ain't small the way it used to be back in the day. Now it's growing, everybody's talking about it. Everybody. You some street creds, you come face the Israelites. We're gonna smash your African centricity garbage and wake our people up. Read.
So we all come in the unity.
What's that word?
Unity.
What?
Unity.
What?
Unity.
What?
Unity.
Negroes hate that word. Unity! That's what the Bible has always been about. Israel must unify. That's what God is commanding us to do.
Called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel.
So we gotta fight with cheerfulness, brothers and sisters, the battle of Israel. Cheerfulness.
And all his brethren helped him.
And all his brethren helped him. That's what the Bible's about. Unity, coming together as a body, doing this great work that one man cannot do alone. Even Christ had 12 disciples with him. He said, when I leave you 12, take the lead.
The work prospered in their hands.
You see that? When they undertook the covenant of the Most High, it said the work prospered in their hands. That's where we got to go to, that level. Don't think our fasting is in vain. We're not fasting for no reason. We want this work to prosper in our hands. So that means we got to be men of action and stand for something or do nothing. You make up your minds. All our different gifts is meant to edify the entire body. That body of Christ translates to nation of Israel.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.
And the Lord is might.
His what?
His might.